Did someone just make a noise? Hello? Someone in my house? Hello? Hello? Oh my gosh, what is that? Hey everyone, I just got back from the Batman premiere. I was able to have an early showing, and boy do I have a lot of cool things to talk to you about. So it's time to gather around the fire, y'all know what I'm talking about, and discuss this movie. First things first, this is a spoiler-free review. So if you have not seen the film, don't worry, I'm not going to give anything away. Everything I do talk about is shown in the trailers. So my rating for this film, 9 out of 10, which is fantastic news. It is a great film. You think about how much pressure goes into a Batman film and how high the expectations are. This does not let down in any sense of the word. It is a fantastic film. With that being said, it's a 9 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10. There are some things which I feel could have been better, some things that were not executed so well, and I'm going to be talking about some of those things, but overall it was a great film. As a baseline, this is a detective movie, which I love. It's really a fresh take on a Batman film. It feels like no other Batman film. It's like a Sherlock Holmes movie. It's not about Batman only going out to beat people up. There is plenty of action in the movie, but it's about Batman trying to be a detective and solve these mysterious killings that are happening by the Riddler. It's really cool because you see him team up with Gordon in the film, and in this film, Batman is only about 2 years into his career as being Batman. So he's still pretty new, and a lot of people still don't know who he is. And a lot of the police force see Gordon as kind of crazy for trusting Batman because they don't trust him yet. And with Batman being new in his career, you get a sense that he doesn't always know what to do. He doesn't always have all the answers. Sometimes it feels like he's just winging it, which I love because it gives a vulnerability to this character and it gives you a real sense of, oh no, he actually might not win. But it's a very dark and gritty film. I think there were maybe 2 times in the whole film where the audience chuckled at something. But besides that, it's a very, dark film. And in some ways, there's a couple of horror elements, which I enjoyed. Which brings me to the discussion of how was Robert Pattinson's Batman. He absolutely disproved anyone who was doubting him. He did a great job. Anyone who was worrying about being unable to disassociate him with Twilight, don't worry about that. He completely is Batman and Bruce Wayne in this film. And one small issue that I had with his portrayal of Batman and Bruce Wayne, which really might not have been his fault, it might have been the director's direction, but he only has one mood the entire film, and that's angry and pissed off. Both Batman and Bruce Wayne. Whenever he's Batman, he's only super angry and pissed off. When he's Bruce Wayne, even in public, he's angry and pissed off. There are times when people approach him in public, right, and they ask him a question, and he kind of just ignores them or just kind of mumbles at them, kind of like, leave me alone, which I think the film was trying to purposely do that. They were trying to show that Bruce Wayne, his identity is Batman. And when he's in public, he doesn't even know who he is. He wants to be Batman at all times because he's a recluse. He doesn't know what to do with his life. And they're trying to show that, but it's a little bit exhausting seeing him only pissed off the entire movie. Other than that, he is a brutal Batman. The way he fights, you think he's basically trying to kill people whenever he fights. And very cool bat suit. One small thing about his bat suit is that it is very bulletproof, almost a little bit too bulletproof. There are times when a room full of guys with machine guns are just unloading, their guns on him, and the bullets are just bouncing off, and he's standing there like, I can't even feel this. And it almost feels like, is this Superman or is this Batman? You want to feel like a guy with a gun is still a threat. And so I wish and hope in future films maybe they don't make his suit so bulletproof. Catwoman was a really interesting addition to the film. I was worried about her. I was worried that she would be distracting to Robert Pattinson's Batman, but she's not. She actually does pretty well. She's not in the film as much as you would think. She kind of comes in and out. She does play an important part of the film, but she's not distracting in any sense. The Riddler, I have mixed opinions on. Whenever the Riddler is in his suit and has his mask on, he is horrifying. It's almost like a horror movie, and kind of like the movie Saw, and which I really loved. It's a very dark take on the Riddler. But in the times of the movie when he doesn't have his mask on and you see his actual human face, it's weird because he's very unintimidating and kind of just weird, which I think the directors were trying to go for. They're trying to show that the person behind the mask is just kind of, a nobody. But it almost came off as bad acting, or the actor didn't know how to portray himself without a mask. And in the trailers, you see a scene where the Riddler is in Arkham Asylum and Batman is on the other side of the interrogation room. And you think, oh, this is going to be like The Dark Knight when Christian Bale and when Batman and the Joker have their intense interrogation scene. But that scene was actually kind of awkward. The actor sometimes would try to be intimidating, but sometimes also act like a little kid. It was kind of a very confusing scene. So that was a little bit disappointing about the Riddler whenever he is unmasked. The Batmobile in the film is one of the coolest iterations of the Batmobile we have ever seen. And the scene itself that it appears in is unreal. So be very excited for that. The actual plot of the movie is straightforward enough, but complicated enough that you don't understand everything, and it makes you want to watch it a second time to figure out the little details. But a normal audience goer can understand enough to know what's going on. But there are definitely some kind of internal stories that you'll need to watch a second time in order to really understand what's going on. One kind of overarching theme of the movie, which I really enjoyed, is the transformation of Robert Pattinson's Batman. At the beginning of the movie and throughout most of it, his philosophy for being Batman is, I'm going to get rid of crime by intimidation. I'm going to beat the living crap out of people and scare them so they don't want to commit a crime. And by the end of the film, his philosophy on Batman, he kind of goes through a personal transformation. Instead of getting rid of crime through fear, he wants to inspire others to do good, which is kind of like the cherry on top. As the film is wrapping up in its ending scenes, it's kind of like, oh, cool. We get to see Batman go through this transformation of being, this guy who's really just out there to beat people up to trying to be an inspiration for the city, and them seeing him as an inspiration. Of course, the supporting actors are just amazing in this film. Gordon, the Penguin is an awesome addition in this film. Alfred is really cool in this film, although he's not in it a ton, to be honest to you. So my final thoughts, overall, this is a really great film. It is a dark, gritty film, but it is a detective movie. And it's awesome because there's amazing fight scenes, but the bottom line is Batman is trying to solve these mysteries, and you see him collecting evidence, analyzing evidence. You see him trying to solve puzzles. And it's really cool because it's a fresh take on Batman that we've never seen before. It is a 3-hour film, but it did not feel like a 3-hour film. Probably because as an audience, you're also trying to get to the bottom of the mystery, so you're engaged. I would absolutely recommend seeing this movie. Go buy your tickets right now. Go buy tickets for your significant others. You are not going to regret it. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please support me by subscribing to the channel and/or like and commenting on it. That would help me a lot. And give me your opinions on what you thought about the film or how it lived up to your expectations. All right, guys, see ya.